And as I alluded to before, where the accrediting agencies are going for is when you develop a new program, this should be at the beginning, not after the fact. This should be thought through about what are we going to do, how are we going to do it at the big level, and then where's it going to fit down into the syllabus. And so that was the piece when I was on the committees and came out that I kept saying, I'm not seeing the 50,000 foot level. I'm seeing it at the syllabus, but I'm not understanding how that ties together. In other words, how do those outcomes, sorry, but how do those outcomes and what do they do? As we talked, we could tell it was there, but it wasn't in a direct area. And that's what they're looking at. In those requirements, they're saying, what are the student learning outcomes? Where are they being taught? What evidence are you collecting to demonstrate it? How are the results going to be analyzed? And who's going to be responsible? Those are the questions they're asking. When we get done today, you're going to get a document from me that will show you how you could display that in the future. Okay?
This doesn't have to be recorded, but you probably know this. PDE now is not necessarily coming for a visit. They have a new format, so you actually have to submit more and better, hopefully, written, because you're not going to have a chance to verbalize it.
Right. So, and a lot, and as I said, as we had the conversations, I could tell it was there, but it wasn't in the written documentation for where it was there.
Well, again, informally, yeah.
And again, if you had taped, and this doesn't need to be on, but if you had taped our questions as we were asking, and I got a lot of it when I was here for the human capital, and we were asking questions about, so at what level is this course, and what are you going to do here? So I was asking the questions to lead the process down to understand that there was a reason for the connection of the courses, but it hadn't been demonstrated in a viable way. You're allowed to take as many as you want.
But I mean to assign an important aspect to one specific outcome. I mean, I would be inclined to think that I would want to assign either an I, R, E, or a D in all of the courses. In all of the major courses.
The reality is not every course is put into the curriculum to fulfill every single outcome.
Not even to
No.
Small degree.
Nah. I mean, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because it could be, and let me give you a really good example. When we did this for our programs, and we have an instructional design and training for workforce certificate at the undergraduate level. And it's really designed for our supervisors who come back, and all of a sudden they've been made a training manager, but they don't even have their bachelor's degree, and we want to give them some of the stuff. And through this process, as we went through this process, we realized that we weren't doing a lot on assessment and evaluation, okay, in the whole thing. We really made a decision that it was introduced in an early course, but we never got to the point where we were reinforcing it. And instead of trying to infuse it, it just made more sense to create a new course that was solely focused on that one topic, okay? And so the other courses weren't, we had an I and then an R way at the end, but we had nothing in between. Because it just didn't make sense. That topic didn't belong. When we're talking about online development, or at the time, and some of the things that we were doing, it just, teaching adults. Well, there was a course on teaching adults. Well, no, we're not going to talk about assessment. I mean, it just wasn't appropriate to have it in that course. Okay.
But the key is the major component that you're looking to have as an outcome should have all the categories. Is that correct?
It's up to you on the demonstration piece. Okay, I think you've got to be to reinforce on everything. Okay, I think the question becomes how critical is it that they demonstrate that specific thing, and understanding that the reality is, how to demonstrate, gets you into a lot of work on the part of the faculty member, and that may mean some course design. That's okay if you want to get there. My ideal would be eventually maybe we'll get there. But I really cared about what is our keystone, what are we really caring about, and how, and therefore which thing are we demonstrating. In some cases, what you're trying to do is improve the amount of learning that your students are doing, and that's okay. What I say to my faculty though is once we pick these key assignments, don't change the key assignment unless you have a conversation with me. Okay? The assignment's supposed to be the result of the additional stuff I've offered the students, the other way I've done it. Don't change the key assignment. If you change the key assignment, we have to have a conversation.